So the grid has been cleared. It is the second ever FIA World Championship race here in Vila in northern Portugal. It is the last World Touring Car race in Europe for this season. From here we head to Japan and then across China and back to the Middle East to round out the year at Qatar. Well, as Jose Maria Lopez leads the championship, he starts here in 10th. He will try and avoid drama and pick up even 1 point. Might be so critical later in the season. He knows his teammate and closest rival, Ivan Buller, has plenty of work to do. But for this man, all eyes of the crowd are on him. Let's hear from Tiago Monteiro on this final formation lap.
Okay, welcome to Villarreal race 2. Here we are on the warm-up lap again. Very, very hot inside the car and we haven't started yet. I think the track temperature must have risen a lot. So anyway, gearbox, tires and brakes are warm already. It's not so important to warm them up now. But have a last look at the track and getting psychologically ready for a good start. I'll see you later. Have a good show. Bye-bye.
You can see from the fans waving, not just hands, but loads of flags as well, and all sorts of banners for Tiago. Lots of support here. And as they head out into the country around the vineyards, you can see there Casa de Mateus in the background. That's a museum now, formerly the home of the Mateus vineyard concern. They're based now down in the docksides in Porto. On board with Rob Huff, a real street race specialist, multiple winner, of course, in Macau, another Portuguese-speaking area. And with Hugo Valente, well, Valente's chance for glory, really, Matt, might have been race 1. He's got to try and focus on moving forward in race 2, but he's got 2 very quick Citroens behind him, and Norbert Michelisz just in front of him, so it's not going to be easy. Yeah,
the unfortunate thing for us is, as you say, Huffy is the street specialist. He's a master on this kind of where you have to hustle the car around and be super accurate. But he's out of position. They had a drama with his car, and Lada did with it in qualifying. So, and by the nature of the qualifying system, he's basically stuck starting in 13th place for both races. So he was fast in race 1, but he got bottled up behind Katzberg and then just couldn't make head roads without. It's so difficult to overtake around here. But it'd be interesting to see. He's behind the couple of Hondas and Banani, and then if he can latch onto the back of the Citroens and they can open doors for him, he could go with them.
Yeah. So often on lap 1, it's where the gaps open up or don't that will decide the fate of the rest of your race. So, little nervy smiles in the garages. Citroen, Honda, Lada and Chevrolet. Everybody hoping for a clean and fast race here in Villarreal. Cars forming up on the grid. Tiago Monteiro will start the race on row 3 in 5th position, but it is Qinghua Ma from China, 4th Citroen on pole, ahead of Ivan Muller, Jaap van Lagen and Nicky Katzberg, the 2 yellow Ladas. Here we go, green flag waves at the back of the grid. 5 red lights will come on, revs rise, clutches and brakes at biting point. And away we go. Not a good start from Van Lagen. Behind him, Monteiro gets in front of Tarquini, but there's contact already. Monteiro's in the wall. There'll be a safety car. And Tiago Monteiro, the gap closed. Moustier's been involved. Van Lagen is out. And that is the worst possible of all eventualities for Tiago Monteiro. He tried to squeeze between the Ladas. Katzberg may not even have known that he was coming through there. He moved a fraction, but it was just enough to tear the wheel off the Honda on the back of Van Lagen's Lada. Now, is that a start? Will we have a safety car, or will we go straight back to the grid and a red flag?
Yeah, Katzberg moved over to cut him off. It was just too late. It's a shame, because Monteiro would have been straight through both the Ladas and into a strong third position right from the off.
Safety car boards are being shown, and Vallon still trying to overtake. He must be told by the team to slow down. No, green flag now, we're being told. No safety car? No, still... OK, so the timing screen is all over the shop.
Safety car.
Safety car will come out. It's the first time this weekend that Bruno Correa has been out in the safety car. Vigorously waved yellows, and the message will be on the radio to everybody now. Thiago took a big hit. One of our 24 onboard cameras, I'm afraid, bit the dust there in that barrier. Just want to say a big nod to AMP Visual TV, the guys who produce all the facilities for us at all the European races, and including in Moscow and in Marrakesh. And this is our last European race, last race with them, and they have been working ceaselessly to get the 29 cameras out around this very long and difficult to camera up circuit around the streets, which have to be opened every night. 29 cameras around the track, further 24 onboards. They help us throughout the season and have done just an astonishing job to get the pictures here. Well, see it again, Thiago Monteiro sees the gap and goes, and then the gap isn't there, and Matt, just sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles.
It's a marginal thing, Martin. Katzberg just tries to cut him off a wee bit, but it's just too late. Monteiro's carrying too much momentum, and I mean, the one thing we can be thankful for, we didn't lose more cars in it, because they're coming through from the back of the grid unsighted.
Wow.
Oh, I tell you what, Loeb was lucky there. He just almost clipped him.
Loeb and Lopez both got by. Look at that. Watch the two Citroens going.
Watch the right-hand Citroen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could have very easily, or Loeb darting left, could have easily put Lopez into the barrier.
Absolutely. And it's that sort of fortune on which championships are made. Here's Tarquini's view. And again, unfortunately, by the time he's been the meat in the sandwich, Thiago's got no control. The steering is broken, or the rear suspension is broken, and he is just a passenger. Hit the wall hard there. Jaap van Lagen, his chance of a podium is out as well.
Yeah, 100% the innocent party. He was just trying to get the power down, but both larders struggling from as they predicted.
No guilty parties in that. That was a pure racing incident.
Now, what they've got to be mindful of here is keeping the temperature in the tyres, not letting the pressures drop too much. I thought that was another position then. It looked so much of a bend, but he's obviously gone a fair way up the track. But look at that, clean through the strut.
Yeah, ripped it clear off the car. Thiago Monteiro out of the race, so too Jaap van Lagen. So we got Quinghua Ma from Ivan Muller. Stefano D'Aste got collected somewhere as well. Watch way to the back. Black and white Chevy coming through now. We don't see him. I wonder if he collected a wheel or a tyre.
It might have been as the corner was bouncing off around the track.
Now the car on the left, the yellow larder that gets hit first, Nicky Katzberg, is currently in third. Look what it's done to the barrier. Wow. Oh. Now that's not one of the really massive 1.5 ton concrete barriers. Stefano D'Aste in the pit lane. Looks like his race is run. Yeah, Stefano's out of the car.
I don't know what he hit.
Tyre hit him, Ben says, from the team. Jaap van Lagen is out. Lots of wolf whistles for him, but I'm afraid that he is not a guilty party, nor is Nicky Katzberg. The question for Katzberg is, how damaged is his car? Well, you can see there's a lot of heartbroken fans.
Well, you could say we have a Portuguese driver leading the race at the moment, Martin, with Bruno Correa, so...
Well, he's Brazilian rather than Portuguese. Yeah, he speaks Portuguese, but...
And lives in Portugal, doesn't he?
And lives down on the Algarve, so yes. But unfortunately for the Portuguese fans, there will be no more race for Thiago. But as we saw, Thiago was out of the car, he was okay. Jaap went over to offer what commiserations you can, because in that situation, you know, Jaap knows that if they were in Zandvoort and he was a national superstar like Thiago is, just the desolation that he'd be feeling. And so there's probably not too many racing drivers that can't empathise with that. Now, the problem for Nicky Katzberg in third place is that the race hasn't got any shorter. It was 13 laps. We can add up to 2 more laps to make it 15 to allow for 2 laps of safety car. But behind him, Gabriele Tarquini, Norbert Mikelic, Loeb in 6th, Lopez in 7th.
This is actually playing to Katzberg a bit, because it's the larder Larder falls into problems the longer the race goes on. So if he can, the more safety laps he can get under his belt, you know, he's desperate. He hasn't had a podium yet with the Larder cars, so he's going to want them to spend as long as they can trying to clear this mess up.
Well, let's hear from Jaap van Lagen.
Yeah, down here. I can't even begin to imagine how you feel. What happened, in your opinion?
Yeah, I feel really bad because third position on the grid is really good for our team, and the boys did a really good job the whole weekend. And start was not good, but that's always with our cars. It's really difficult to get the traction with this car. But then it was me a big surprise. I drove in straight line, went not to the left, to the right, and then somebody, what was Montero, he hit me really hard on the right side. Yeah, and then my rear left wheel was broken, and it's over after 100 meters.
Really sorry for you. Yeah.
And he's absolutely right, actually. His reading of it, when he was talking, just watching the car go away, he does not move left or right. If you look at how close he is to the white lines in the middle of the road, he's absolutely following the white lines, or parallel with them. And so it is the gap narrowing between him and Nicky Katzberg. And Thiago then is the pinball in the middle. Thiago's dad on the left, and the rest of the team are absolutely gutted. Stefano D'Aste's with Ben down in the pits.
Well, the crash itself happened on row 2. Stefano's starting way back. How on earth have you ended up in the pits as well?
I got a good start, but after a few meters I saw a big confusion, and then a tire with a complete suspension jumped out from the group of cars, and I thought I saw the tire jumping, and it did one jump, second jump, and the third I thought, oh, it will be on my car, and in fact I got it. But there were no solution because I was too close on the wall on the left, and I couldn't brake because all the car in the back of me were very close. If I brake there with the accident on my right, could be very dangerous. So I kept full throttle, but it was not enough.
And the problem with the car is?
Yeah, problem of the car is we broke the toe link suspension because the heat was so hard because of the full suspension, and with the wheels are very heavy, and jumping on the track it crashed on the wheel arch, and yes, there were no solution. I'm not really very happy because we did modify for race 2, and the car, the feeling with the car was very good. We had a very good car in the performance, also in race 1. But with this modifying race 2, we could be very, very quick. But it's okay. The problem comes from the official practice. There were too much confusion. I couldn't do my good lap time because I was locked in my best lap, and I couldn't get Q2. So, but I'm happy because we were very quick.
Hard luck.
Thank you. Right.
It's one of those things, Matt. Sometimes the accident comes to you no matter what you do, and you just have to remain committed to the hope that it'll vanish somewhere and go by you.
What Stefano needs to be thankful of is it didn't come through his windshield, because that hits, you know, they're toughened, but it's perspex, and you know, that hits, it's coming through.
Safety car conditions here in Villarreal. Race distance now extended from 13 to 15 laps. We're on lap 4. Safety car scrambled on lap 1 as the incident at the start between Jaap van Lagen and Thiago Montero claimed not just them, but another victim in Stefano D'Aste as well. So we've lost 3 cars. Good start from Gregoire de Moustier to get by Tom Chilton. And John Philippi is the last of the queue behind the safety car. The first of the queue is Quinghua Ma. I'm afraid there's going to be a lot of very disappointed Portuguese fans, though. Awful lot of Thiago Montero ephemera in the crowd. T-shirts, hats, and what have you, and flags, loads and loads, hoping that from a decent grid position he had a real opportunity maybe to even chase down the Citroens that had started on the front row of the grid. It hasn't dampened their enthusiasm much. Maybe that's 4 hours with the bars being open, helping with that a little. But you can see Thiago fans very disappointed, waiting for the race to get back underway. It's Mar and Muller in the Citroens, Katzberg third in the Lada from Tarquini's Castrol Honda in fourth, then Michelisz in the Zengo Honda in fifth, ahead of Sebastian Loeb and Jose Maria Lopez in their Citroens. They are sixth and seventh, and further back in this queue, so Rob Hoff, Mehdi Bernani, Tom Coronel, Grégoire de Moustier, Tom Chilton, John Philippi. That is the queue from Huff in 10th place down.
Just looking, the safety car lights are still on, which means it's going to be doing at least one more lap. The visual signal to the drivers that it's coming in is when the lights go off for a minimum of half a lap before.
Yeah, end of sector 2, which will be corner 17. So that will be 2/3 of the way round the lap when the lights go off there. We'll be warned on the timing screen, and the team will as well, that the safety car will be coming in on the next lap whenever it is. We understand at the moment we're hoping to get a word with Thiago Monteiro, but he is in fact with medical staff. He took a big hit hitting that wall, and Matt, actually, you know, when we saw him being strapped in, talked about that HANS device, the head and neck restraint system, that's basically a big collar that runs under the seat belts, over the neck and down the chest, and onto which the back area of the helmet is fastened. It stops the head being rocked forward and hyperextending your vertebrae in your neck especially in a hard stop. And that's exactly the sort of incident it is designed to try and help drivers survive. So we saw him out of the car, compos mentis. But clearly, when there's any amount of pain, neck or back after an impact like that, he will go for examination. May well end up going to hospital for a scan or an X-ray, just to double reassure themselves before he travels that he is okay to do so.
That's right. I mean, the HANS device was probably introduced about 10 years ago. There was a little bit of resistance against it amongst drivers because it wasn't the easiest thing to get used to, but it's mandatory, I think, in every form of motorsport now. So it's almost that you feel as naked without it as not wearing your seatbelt.
Yes.
Because it saves, you know, you can walk away. Thiago could get up tomorrow morning potentially without even a stiff neck from that thing because it protects you that well.
Jim Downing from Georgia, a sports car racer, was the man who initially started work on developing it because he saw so many neck injuries coming from increasing speeds in cars and growing impact velocity. And his prototypes were then supported financially and clinically, medically and engineering-wise by Mercedes-Benz as well. And they have, as you say, in all FIA standard motorsport now become de rigueur, absolutely mandatory here in the FIA World Touring Car Championship, and many, many other championships use them too.
The drivers will be getting the message that the safety car's in this lap, so they've got to start making sure they get the tyres up to temperature, the brakes up to temperature, to make sure when they get down to that first big braking zone, they've got something underneath them.
Completing lap 5 of 15, safety car about to come in, and Qinghua Ma is going already. Ivar Muller behind him, Nicky Katzberg in third place. Ma slowed to allow the safety car to be out of the way. As he gets to the line, he's trying to jump away from Ivar Muller. He knows how much the Frenchman wants to win this race, and Ma had to hold him off all of race 1. We have 10 racing laps remaining. Nicky Katzberg in third from Gabriele Tarquini. Green flags fly, and Katzberg under pressure immediately from the Castrol Honda. Tarquini senses the opportunity, and Matt, he needs to strike before sitting in the slipstream of this Lada starts to burn his tyres, and he runs into the same traction issues, and he's very late over the brakes there. Norbert Michelisz with the black car with Sebastian Loeb behind him, also looking to move up.
Yeah, Ma bolted early to try and gap Muller, but Muller read it, and he read it really well, and he's gone with him. Now Katzberg's held on to them, but he's going to start coming under pressure from Tarquini and Michelisz before long.
It looks like the battle for victory is between Ma and Muller, and Katzberg will cling to the podium if he can. Tarquini, Michaelis with Loeb and Lopez behind. He's going to be under pressure as well. Tarquini shows his nose. Katzberg won't be looking in the mirrors there, not into this chicane. This is one of the most uncomfortable, and Vallant had a lunge down the inside of Lopez. Lopez still in front, as you can see. Vallant did not get through, but that's the first time we've even seen an attempt at a pass there. Tarquini onto the long back straight, right behind the larder. And Rob Huff had the same problem with Nicky Katzberg. We were talking about it to him again after race one. He said, the whole straight, you close right up, you're all over the back of him, but he gets out of the chicane and gets on the power first, and he's 3 car lengths in front, and it takes you the whole of the next straight to catch him back up again.
Katzberg locking up there. He defended well throughout race one. The cars seem very evenly matched, the Honda and the Lardy, but as you say, Tarquini closes up the gap, then just got nowhere to go. He has to back out of it.
Yeah. Gabrielli's going to have to be hyper brave somewhere. And Nicky Katzberg, his chance of a first World Touring Car Championship podium. Boy, is he going to cling to this. This is going to be the longest 7 laps of his racing career in a while, you'd think.
Something's got to happen with this lot. What Tarquini needs is Michelitz to keep the Citroens busy while he can focus on the Lada in front of him. But that's a bit of team tactics. But I think, unfortunately, it's like bike racing. It's every man for himself at the moment.
Last time round, Qinghua Ma, fastest lap of the race, 2:02.17. Muller, 2:02.89, lost 0.7 of a second and changed to Qinghua Ma. Ma is now 1.4 seconds clear of Muller. Has Muller's car still not got the pace to catch the Chinese? It doesn't look like it. This is not what Ivan needed. Lopez looks at Loeb, more in anticipation than anything else, but the queue behind the Lada of Katzberg could play well for Lopez, because Loeb can't escape, and Lopez has got no rear gunner to worry about. Vallant's not close enough to give him grief, and so Lopez can work on the back of Loeb's car like this for the rest of the race. One place could be a big place by the end of the year.
Well, we've also got Vallant and Girolami on the back of them. If this group closes up, and Katzberg's only going to go one way, and that's going to be backwards to hold these guys up. So it's that Lada is going to drop away as the laps tick by, and so this queue's going to get closer and closer, as is the frustration and the heat of the drivers.
Well, there's Thiago, stiff, sore, and bitterly disappointed, I'm sure. 2:07.1 last time round for Ma, 2:02.1, 2:02.8 for Muller, 2:04.6 for Nicky Katzberg, and everybody behind him also doing 2:04s because he's governing their speed. They can't get closer, they can't get further away.
Yeah, the cockpit temperature's going to be rising now. The tyres, Katzberg's locking those brakes up every time into the heavy braking zones. That's not going to be doing his rubber good at all.
It's what Gabrielli has to do now. He has to be persistent, he has to be accurate, and he has to be aggressive. He has to force Nicky Katzberg to make a mistake. Katzberg's tyres will wear fast. Every lock-up, they will wear more. Every set of chicane exits that they spin up, they will wear further and further and further. And Tarquini, in the slipstream, his tyres will be starting to go away as well. You can see him locking up again over the bumps down into this tight right-hander.
Katzberg's like a cork in a bottle of champagne, which has been shaken and shaken and shaken. If it goes, then they're all going to be through.
Vallant starting to make inroads into Lopez. The gap 1.0 seconds at the line. Girolami nearly a second behind Vallant, and that's because the Frenchman is starting to open the gap up over that blue Honda Civic. And there, the second of the white Citroens, that's Jose Maria Lopez. Behind Sebastian Loeb, keeps his nose out of the slipstream to try and allow some more cooling air to run through the radiators. And Muller now nearly 2 seconds behind Ma, 1.91. Ma again last lap, 2:02.2, Muller 2:02.8.
Katzberg managed to just put a little bit of air between him and Tarquini, so might be able to take him just give him a bit of breathing space, let him pick his own line, try and get some speed back out of his car.
Oh, big big aviating moment over the exit of that chicane. That, I think, is the main danger point for Nicky Catsburg. Getting in there locked up and too fast, I think that chicane might be his undoing. We're hearing from Thiago. You saw him walking in with Alex Legui down in the pit area. Wasn't the neck, in fact, it was worry about a possible fracture in his ankle. He's a very sore ankle because, Matt, when you have a big stop like that, your feet are on the pedals. They can often get punched back at your foot and ankle and really hurt. He is okay, though. You saw him walking, so no breakages. And he'll be pretty tender. He won't be going running for the next couple of days, I think, but no broken bones.
Yeah, a lot of these, well, not a lot of, all these cars, they're built for functionality and weight saving. So it's not really a comfortable environment you're in. If if you do get a big hit, then you do rattle around in there, and there's a lot of sharp parts you can bounce off.
Yeah, the main torso is fixed to the seat, but the arms and legs can flail around, and when your feet are on the pedals or off the pedals, whack them sideways. Imagine how painful that can be. Well, there is your race leader, Qinghua Ma. That was, in fact, Ivan Muller in second. Nicky Catsburg, car number 10, in third. The yellow Lada still in a podium position. Rob Huff, his teammate, in the points in 10th. All three Ladas finished in the points in race one, but, of course, we've just seen Jaap van Lagen out. And there is John Gentry, Thiago's race engineer. Man who's engineered more different forms of car and more different forms of motorsport than I don't know what. You just saw Norbert Michaelis there getting in a little late into the chicane, having to really lock up in the middle. Loeb ran into him and Lopez ran into Loeb. Still no change. Norby in 5th, Seb in 6th, and Ma leads the race. Qinghua Ma, our race leader here. He's won 1 World Touring Car Championship rounds. That was in Moscow last year. And he is leading comfortably here. A bright red glow from the exhaust on the Honda in front of us as we ride with Sebastian Loeb's bumper cam. And Ma, we talked in qualifying, we talked in free practice about how much Muller was throwing the car around, about how much Lopez was throwing the car around. But boy, Ma is starting to look like he's on a gravel rally stage. He's really drifting the car.
Well, this circuit is like some of the circuit. Oh, look at that bit of bumping and barging. Oh, Valente going through.
Made sure he didn't pick up any spots there, and they all got checked up behind. Norby getting in a little late there.
But this tight and twisty circuit, it is like some of the circuits they're racing on out in China, where Ma cut his teeth and made his name. So, it is probably suiting his style better than some of the fast and flowing circuits.
Right, he's keeping it off the barriers, but he's not being tidy. He is definitely allowing the tail of the car to slide around about. Tarquini, again looking down the inside, but again, Catsburg's got it covered into turn 6.
Martin, you almost, from the timing, Muller's almost starting to come back. Is he coming back to them?
Yes, he is. The gap is under 4 seconds from Catsburg forward to Muller, and it's nearly 4 seconds from Ma back to Muller in second. So Muller is starting to sag away further from Ma. And in fact, Muller's last lap, his best of the race, a 2:02.6. Catsburg, who was in the 2:04s, is now doing 2:03.5. Nicky Catsburg's going about a second faster than he was after the restart.
That was a great shot we got of Catsburg's face in there, and you can actually see his eyes glancing left and right off the mirrors. Just every corner he's going into, he's checking where that Honda is behind him.
It's not a phrase that he'll understand, being Dutch and not a great cricket fan, I don't think, but line and length. Defend, don't look in the mirrors, just keep the car online. And Matt, if he's online and controls his own car, it's going to be the devil's own job for Gabrielli to get by him cleanly.
He's going to be driving more in his rear view mirrors now. He's got to drive forward on autopilot and be tactical with every move he makes. Tarquini
had a good run going, a really good run going for Gabrielli. Tarquini is all over the back of Nicky Catsburg. There's the view from Catsburg's car. He drifts out wide. Tarquini, has he got through? Has he got the run? He has. He's through into third. Catsburg couldn't control it under braking. Through comes Norby, and around the outside goes Loeb. 3 wide into the braking area. Loeb sideways, and through goes Lopez. Catsburg goes around the roundabout, and Loeb is in the barriers.
Wow.
Thiago is okay, but that was high drama, and that is the last thing that Muller needed. Not only has Lopez moved up, but he's moved up 3 spots. Lopez is now behind Tarquini in 4th place. Loeb bails out, can't get out the driver's door. Gabrielli were the first to take advantage. Through comes Norby. Loeb on the outside has nowhere to go, Matt, but he had to try the move. He was going too quick not to.
That was the cork in the bottle, wasn't it? I mean, oh, they were lucky to get away with all that.
Norby was lucky to get away with that as well, wasn't he? Look at this. And Lopez picks the line, through he goes.
I would have thought, bar a few flat spots, Lowe would have been able to get going here.
Maybe he stalled the engine and wouldn't refire. Maybe he just thought that was a big enough hit. Actually, I think I'm done for the day. And of course, he would have been coming out last, possibly in a wrecked car, and it's a street circuit, Matt. There's no runoff area when the brake pedal goes to the floor the first time you go for it.
Okay, next question. Now the door's been opened, what pace has Tarquini got? Can he start putting the pressure onto Muller, start taking the fight to Muller for this next place up the grid?
Well, Ma is in no danger except within his own helmet. Muller 4.3 behind last time round. Tarquini 5.3 behind Muller. But as you say, the stopper is out of the bottle. His personal best first sector. And Lopez in 5th place behind Michelis has set the fastest second sector of the race. Nicky Katzberg now in front of Udo Vallant. Katzberg still in 6th.
Oh, just missed his braking error, ran a bit wide.
And then all over the filth, so it's all over his tyres. He's slow back on, and he's just easy pickings for everybody else. Now, whether they'll examine him going the wrong way around the roundabout or not, as exceeding track limits, I don't know.
Very good opportunistic manoeuvre off Michelis to get in there.
Yeah. Well, like Loeb, he was carrying so much speed compared to Katzberg, he couldn't not. He had to try and go by him or he'd have hit him. I don't think Katzberg has much option there but to go round the roundabout, because if he doesn't, he's going to hit Loeb in the door.
The other lucky thing was rejoining without anyone coming across, straight in through his door.
So Katzberg clattered with Montero at the start. The car's taken another hit now from in a sandwich with Loeb and Michelis, and still the thing is going round, and Huffy is only 3 cars behind him now, so Huff has benefited. He's up to 9th, Benani in 10th.
I hope he's not expecting to get an early flight home tonight.
There was late night last night before the stewards had finished making their decisions. Qinghua Ma 5.5 ahead of Muller. Ma's last lap 2:02.4, Muller's 2:03.6, Tarquini's 2:03.4, but this is lap 12 of 15. Gabrielli's still 5.2 behind. He can't get second off Muller, surely.
Lopez got a clear crack at Michelis now without any interference.
The battle is on for 4th place. Jose Maria Lopez in the Citroen, number 37. Hunting, look at the eyes. Hunting down Norba Michelis. Norby, we know, is tough to get by when he has his hands on a position, but look at the way the smoke was pouring off his tyres. No hint of a lock-up from Lopez into that chicane.
It's going to be getting awfully hot in those cockpits now. They're completely sealed up, as we were saying. In the first race, they were seeing 65°C in cockpit temperature. That's at 150 degrees Fahrenheit, with absolutely no ventilation at all.
That's a very hot sauna, far too hot to be staying in. Ma leads, Muller second, Tarquini just up the road in 3rd. The battle for 4th, Michelis, Lopez. Then Katzberg, Vallant, Girolami in the blue car. Behind him, Huff, Benani in the red, white and green, and Coronel. Coronel there on the back of that queue in 11th. And Benani looking to try and hustle away by Rob Huff. Tried that in the last couple of laps in race 1. Huff clung on to 10th place. He'll cling on to 9th here if he Corby gets in sideways. Lopez still has more car under him, doesn't he, than Michelis. And Qinghua Ma, like Lopez in race 1, Matt, in a league of his own. There's no one in his mirrors. He's going to start wondering whether there's been a red flag somewhere.
Martin Tarquini, fastest sector 3 of the race in that last lap, and closed 1 second on Muller in that last lap.
Muller's in trouble. Oh, and somebody's had a huge one. There was smoke in the background, and it's Huff. It's Katzberg.
That's debris everywhere, that is.
Yeah, that's a wheel in the barrier.
That'll be the race stopped.
Yep.
That'll be red flag.
Nicky Katzberg, big crash. He's okay, but Car gets away from him. Oh, plans the barriers on the inside.
That's a big hit.
Now he's had 2 hits already. Let's watch.
Well, didn't he brace?
I don't know. It looked like it hit the barrier on the driver's left, but he has had a hit on either side. Red flag. Race is over.
Did he clip the apex, or did something break on the outside?
It looked like he hit the barrier on the inside first and then got spat across the road, but is it because he turned in too tight, or did something break on the car? He's been hit on both sides in this race. I did say I was impressed that the Lada had stayed together. Well, that brings our European season to a premature end. Well, session stopped, and we're being told that the race will not be restarted.
Well, we're getting through one ear that it's going to be suspended at the moment, and the next ear it's being stopped completely. So
that pretty much matches the confusion.
Mars a little bit confused.
Pretty much race suspended. Okay, so pretty much matches the confusion we've had from. Are we going to restart it for 2 laps? We can't add another 2.
No,
we were on lap 12 of 15. Race will not be resumed, which is as we expected. We're more than 3/4 distance. We can award full points, and to restart for 2 laps. The big problem with restarting for 2 laps is not this impact, it's this impact. What it's done to the barriers, they would need to be replaced, and they will need to be replaced before the other support races.
No, Martin, something's broken on the car there.
Car took a weave before it turned left into the barriers, didn't it? The car did not have its normal setup. Might have been over a bump here, I don't know, but whatever, the long and short of the incident, Quinghua Ma has his 2nd career World Touring Car win, his first in Western Europe. He won in Moscow last year. He wins in Villarreal this year, and he showed Ivan Muller a clean set of heels. Muller 2nd in both of those races behind Ma. Well, a Citroën 1-2 in race 1, a Citroën 1-2 in race 2. But the race ends dramatically with Nicky Katzberg very firmly in the barriers and a debris field left, right and centre.